This is a presentation of the Sports Source Digital Network, presented by Hearthside Bank.
So Tennessee has made it official. Tennessee is now an Adidas school, or will be in 2026, an Adidas school once more. What's the fallout from that? Well, let's discuss that with Will West. This is the Sports Source Digital Network. I'm John Pennington, and this is the aforementioned Will West, who people can hear on the Sports Animal 99.1 or 99.1 The Sports Animal, the way I'm supposed to say it. Will, the backlash is not going to be great on this one for some reason. It's just one of those brand things. It would be like going from a Coke school, if you're in the South, it'd be like going from a Coke school to a Pepsi school.
Yep.
Nah, that doesn't work. Going from Nike to Adidas, people just love that Nike name, that Nike brand. For years, it was a selling point on the recruiting trail. I don't think folks are going to love this one.
No, not at all. Not on the surface as well. I think this is the right move, but I don't think most of the fans are going to like that. Well, one, and Tennessee was buried on the depth chart. At Nike as well. Nike clearly did not value Tennessee.
Which is crazy. Yeah.
I believe they should, based on the ratings that you brought up on your show for television ratings. I mean, you're a top 10 viewed college football program. Why aren't you treated at least like a top 20 college football program by your apparel provider? And they don't. So to me, this is the only move you can make, but it's not going to be a popular move. You're right.
Well, let's talk about the business side of it. Nike, as you say, they've got the Nike brand, they've got their Jordan brand, which is still Nike, but it's a different side arm. When Tennessee got with Nike, everyone, including myself, thought, okay, this is going to be just super rich cash. They didn't pay you the way they pay Michigan. They didn't pay you the way they pay North Carolina. And I like you, I never understood that. I grasped that a fan base is going to spend money buying apparel. All right, no question. And I grasped that some brands are big enough that you're going to sell apparel elsewhere. People like unique colors. You see people walk around in, that crazy Seahawks green and stuff. So I assumed orange, that unique Tennessee orange, would be something that people would pick up, even the non-sports fan. It's like, oh, this is loud, I'll put this on. So to me, it would make sense from an apparel standpoint. I mean, I think recently, Timothy Chalamet was seen in the orange and white checkerboard suspender things, overalls. But I just wondered, did they not sell as much merchandise of UT outside of the state of Tennessee? And then your point, we brought this up on the television show, Tennessee football games are wildly viewed. They are your top 10 brand in the country in terms of ratings year in and year out. Basketball, I've never seen anybody break it down that way, but I guarantee you Tennessee ratings, considering how good you've been under Rick Barnes and the matchups you play typically, you're going to be way up there in terms of most watched basketball brands too. I don't get why Nike didn't pay them.
I have no idea. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me unless... Now, I do wonder, I know a lot of Tennessee fans who do not buy the Nike stuff either, and there are a lot of Nike schools who don't have an apparel deal with the different golf companies and Columbia and Cutter and Buck and Lululemon and all of those things that Nike considers to be a competitor. So
maybe that's it.
I don't know, and maybe basketball as well as one part of it is that maybe basketball things sell more than football does, because the NBA does a pretty good job of selling close to what the NFL does, even though it does an eighth of the ratings, right, an eighth of the audience. But so I wonder if that was part of... I would think that with
Tennessee's basketball improving to the point you've been in 2 straight Elite Eights, you're constantly in the top 10.
Yep.
You would think that wouldn't be that far, not like it used to be.
I wouldn't either. But from what I was told, Kentucky sells more apparel. Like Tennessee, their deal, from what I've been told, was about half of what Kentucky's new deal is with Nike.
It's crazy.
Half. And Kentucky apparently sells a little bit more in apparel than Tennessee does, which is insane, but that is a national basketball brand.
That is true. Yep.
And so maybe from a streetwear perspective, you have more people who purchase that don't really pay attention to sports, right? I'm a Dodger fan. It's hard to find Dodger gear anywhere, yet not that many people are watching Dodger games because there's just something about the streetwear side of that.
Yeah, and I mean, there are also people that like having a hat that just says L.A.
Yeah. Ice Cube wore one, so I'm going to wear one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that was the Raiders gear. How many of those people were Raiders fans, and how many just liked, the black and silver's cool? I'm going to wear that. There's a reason the White Sox went to that black and silver years ago. I think it's an odd move from Nike's perspective that they had an opportunity to match whatever Adidas put in for them, and no thanks. We're not doing it. I wonder if you might have nailed it right there by pointing out Tennessee does have an awful lot of deals with an awful lot of brands. It's not just Nike. You can buy UT gear from 100 different places. And I would assume Danny White, who seems to be pretty sharp and shrewd when it comes to making bucks, knows that we can make more money doing this than we can just from one outlet.
Well, my wife is at the tailgates literally every single week, right?
Yeah.
Like our company has a tailgate up at Circle Park, and none of the things she wears are Nike.
There you go. Now, it's funny. I've talked to people who are like, oh, no, we're going away from Nike. We're going to Adidas. I hate all of the Adidas stuff. I've talked to people who prefer Nike golf shirts and that kind of stuff than they do Adidas
golf shirts, yeah.
I'm not someone who's ever cared. That's not, that is never, the uniform manufacturing also means less now because many schools, UT certainly, design their own uniforms now. So, and they've all gotten so garish and crazy over the years anyway. I'm waiting for Tennessee to come out in pink polka dots. But when they do, it wouldn't be designed by Nike. It won't be designed by Adidas. It will be designed by Tennessee.
They design it in-house.
Yeah, so I don't think you're going to be seeing – this is a problem I had with Adidas toward the end of the run when Tennessee left them, 2006, 2007, somewhere in there? No, it was later than that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It was 2013, 14?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. They went to them in 95, and then 2014, I think, was how long Adidas lasted. At the end of that Adidas run, you're wearing those horrible, god-awful Adidas templates. I'm sorry. That stuff.
The smoky gray that was the same thing as blue steel. That was the same thing as all the other.
It also looked like they had that tire tread pattern, which looked like you'd been hit by a bus. They also had that year, 2002, where they had that stripe on the pants that was this wide.
Yeah.
And it's like it looked literally like the Pope's Vatican guard, the Swiss guard. It was just this goofy. It's like, is it orange pants with white stripe, or is it a white pant with an orange stripe? It's so half and half you can't tell. So hopefully you're not going to be seeing any of that kind of Adidas template crap because that is bad.
Look, there are things they're going to have to work at because their women's uniforms are awful.
I've heard this.
When I worked with the softball team.
Not the look you're talking about. You're talking about the
fit.
cut.
The fit and the
for
cut.
A female.
I was told by one former athlete that played at an Adidas school that the basketball was just men's stuff.
Smaller
size.
Yeah, I've heard
and
that.
they changed the size, and it didn't fit any of them, and it was uncomfortable. The softball players, when I worked with the softball program,
hard to believe.
hated it. So, but if you look at Baylor's women's uniforms, they're terrible. Like they're just terrible. And look at the softball. Go to watch the Women's College World Series.
Yeah.
Those Adidas uniforms are bad. So there are challenges to this, even though you probably had to do this unless you were just willing to stomach being disrespected by your apparel.
Well, and I think the bottom line is everything now, and people need to get used to it, is about the money.
Yeah.
Everything. And I don't care if you and I said we'll sew you uniforms, but we'll pay you $2 million in Adidas or Nike. We would have a deal now with UT because we got the $2 million. I mean, that's the deal.
You'd be in Rydell if you were Bike if they were willing to do it.
Yeah, what was it? Sports Bell, the local company that used to make the uniforms here. I think that the money talks, and that's why they went toward it, and that's what all these schools are trying to grab every last dime. So I don't know that there's any use crying about it. Fans just need to get to the point where anything that's going to be in your stadium, anything that's going to be on your team, it's all going to come down to, they must have paid more.
Yeah, the highest bidder. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. And Nike was unwilling to even. I think if it was close, maybe Tennessee would have done it. But you can go be a big fish in a smaller pond, the biggest fish in a smaller pond.
Yeah, let's get into
Or a small fish in a big pond when you are a big fish in that pond.
67 Power 4 schools now that you've had your redistribution of power, and I'll include Notre Dame in that. 67 schools, 42 of them are Nike. 42 of the 67 biggest brands are Nike. It'll be 41 when Tennessee gets out. 14 of those 67 are Adidas. Then you have a smaller group is Under Armour, and then that doesn't even count Nike. That's Nike's Jordan brand is a separate deal. So it's more than 42 out of 67 if you count Jordan. Hang on. I want to do a little exercise in a minute. When you look around the nation, you're talking Kansas, Nebraska, Washington, I believe, Miami, Louisville, Texas A&M, and Mississippi State are the only Adidas schools in the SEC, and Tennessee. Not exactly the hottest brands going.
It's not.
You are literally the best of those brands.
Yep.
And maybe Adidas has said, we're going to make you our number one push. We're putting your stuff everywhere because you are our biggest brand. But I thought that's what Nike was going to do, so I wouldn't count on that. But it is interesting if you're looking at who you were hanging out with. Your party's not as fun as last party.
It's not.
So I wanted to do this, and here's where we can do a little marking on the board here. In terms of last year's 24/7 sports recruiting rankings, And we'll get into whether or not I really believe this is the end-all be-all in recruiting. But last year's recruiting rankings, I'll list the school, and you'll either give me a little mark for Nike, mark for Adidas, or mark for other if it's Under Armour or somebody else. Number 1, this is how they finished last year. Number 1 was Texas, so Nike. Number 2 was Georgia, Nike. Number 3 was Alabama, that's Nike. Number 4, Ohio State, Nike. You following this? Number 5, Oregon, Nike. Number 6, Michigan, that's the Nike Jordan brand, so let's put that as their Nike. Number 7 last year, that's Nike Jordan brand for Florida. So the top 7 in football recruiting last year were all Nike schools. Number 8 was Auburn, and they're Under Armour. Number 9,
which they're moving to Nike next year.
Oh, okay, didn't know that.
Yeah.
There you go. Texas A&M was next with Adidas. That's your first Adidas at number 9. LSU was 10th, Nike. Tennessee was 11, Nike. Notre Dame 12, Under Armour. 13, Southern Cal, Nike. 14, Miami, Adidas. 15, Penn State, Nike. 16, Ole Miss, Nike. 17, Oklahoma, Nike Jordan. 18, Carolina, Under Armour. 19, Florida State, Nike. And number 20, Missouri, Nike.
Goodness.
Holy smokes. Yeah, hold that up there. So last year's top 20 on 24/7 Sports football recruiting, 15 of the top 20 were Nike schools. I guess hold it up to this one. 15 were Nike schools. 3 were Under Armour, other, and 2 were Adidas. Now, that looks very bad for recruiting. We got it. Thank you. That looks very bad for recruiting. I don't think it's going to be that bad for recruiting. I've talked to Kevin Simon, who we both know, told me if Tennessee had been, he almost went to a Nike school rather than come to Tennessee because it was Adidas. He hated Adidas at that time. And I know there are other guys out there. But do you think it's going to be a recruiting issue?
I don't. Look, if all things are equal and a guy just loves Nike, they may do it. We had A.J. Brown say that he doesn't like to wear black socks, so he went to Ole Miss, not Georgia.
Yeah, so some people are crazy.
There are the outliers who are like that. I have spoken to one player that is there now that would have said he would have gone to another SEC school because his high school uniforms were Adidas, he hated them. They didn't fit right.
Right.
But he did say most of the people don't care. Most players, it's going to come down to cultural, money.
That's the one. That's the one it's going to come down to.
And at the end of the day, it's fine. I mean, Mike Loxley at Maryland said, we put all this money into facilities and all this money into uniforms, and at the end of the day, these kids would rather wear trash bags and be inside of a dumpster and get paid more money. That's just the way that recruiting is nowadays.
Well, I mean, everybody's like, well, you got to do these recruiting because this is what you got to wear these crazy uniforms because this is what the kids like. And I forget who it was. It was one of the national publications a few years ago. Went back and interviewed like the top 200 signees in the country, and they found that 7th on the list of why somebody picked a school was uniforms.
They don't, and I would say this, they care.
It may catch your attention and make it easier to recruit. You may want to go do the photo shoot, which they're not doing anymore, but well, they do some of it, not as much. But you may want to go do a photo shoot to where you're in this black with orange uniform, that kind of stuff. But that's not even tied back to Nike and Adidas, as we talked about earlier.
I think it was a big deal in the Bagman era. I don't think in this era of revenue sharing and NIL and all that, it matters that much at all.
No, I think that's the trick. Now that you're in revenue share or NIL, and it's going to go back to NIL. The revenue share, I just don't think this house thing is going to hold up long term. So eventually you'll be back to them making money through boosters and everything else. And I think once that's the case, everybody's going to be going wherever they get the biggest check, not where who manufactures your uniforms. I just don't see that being a big deal. That said, Tennessee fans are not going to like this. The majority of them are going to squawk over it. I will end simply by saying this. It didn't hurt Tennessee in 1998 when they won a national championship in football wearing Adidas.
They won a lot more games under Adidas than they have since that Nike contract.
They sure did. All right. Will West, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching the Sports Source Digital Network. If you like this kind of content, click the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Ring the bell so you get a notification when we post stuff. Thank you very much for watching, and let us know what you think, Nike or Adidas, why you like one better than the other, why you don't care. Put it in the comment section. May use it on my Saturday show, may use it on the Sunday show. Thank you very much. See you next time.